Hi, welcome to Cook with Jake and Joy. We are so excited for this episode today because we have a celebrity chef with us. Yes, we do. Jake and I met this random stranger online, and turns out that Lee Abbott.
Well, were we on Match.com? I mean, we got this guy online.
No, we met him through Facebook, and it was actually because we were cleaning up our Facebook, and I saw that he had these amazing credentials. What was the name of the show that you were on?
I was on All-Star Academy Season 2 of Food Network, and I almost won. I got down to the final plate, the $50,000 plate. I got all the way there.
Great to see. Where can they see that episode? Because you sent that to me.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, those are on Amazon. Amazon Prime shows all the episodes, and so does YouTube, actually. So you can order up the whole series. The concept of the show was that they took the best home cooks in America that they thought. 25,000 people applied, and somehow I made the top 9 to get to go to New York, and they pair you up with a Food Network All-Star to be your mentor. So I was fortunate to get Iron Chef Alex Gornishelli as my mentor, so that was a gift of a lifetime. It was amazing.
That's so much fun, and we are just Jake and I are just so honored that you would be willing just to come over to our little house and shoot with us.
They have wine. Yeah. Sure, I'll come over. There you go.
And it's awesome to have Derek here because we love working with Derek, and I think you're going to love him too. But we're also really excited to introduce you to our vertical growing system.
I love this.
It's aeroponic. We have a farm with these down by the beach, and we do a couple of episodes at the farm actually. But I know your dish today is going to, and you don't usually do vegan, gluten-free food, Lee.
You know, I do for friends, and what I enjoy about cooking is making the people I'm with happy more than saying, look at me and showing off. You know what I mean? So I do have friends who are vegan. I do have friends who have specific needs. My ex has celiac, so it's for real. It's not I don't want to eat gluten. I can't. And so often like things to have in the house or with the kids. So I'm definitely conscious of all that. On my own, sure, I'll slather on the butter and the steak, but you know, it's something I enjoy doing. And I gotta say, first of all, I think this is the coolest thing. This idea so that anybody can have fresh, because that's just
so awesome.
Herbs. I mean, look at this.
Chefs love this because, you know, if you go out and buy all these greens, like if you buy chard or kale, or especially getting into the herbs, like we've got oregano growing along with the Johnny Jump Ups. But if you know what happens when you buy herbs is you use a little bit of them and then they turn to mush in the bottom of your refrigerators. So we can come out here and pick. Not only are they the freshest and the best, and they don't turn to mush in your refrigerator, but also nutritionally. And I know that that's that's my forte. I'm not a chef by any means.
But nutrition matters to me too. I mean, that's everything. I mean, like I've got children, you know, and I mean, to make sure that they're getting all their nutrients. And so being a chef is nice to be able to, quote, disguise healthy eating.
Yes, and the freshest stuff you can get is the most nutritiously dense.
Absolutely.
So that's so awesome. So we love this, and chefs love this.
Yeah.
And if you guys want more information about this, you can just drop us a note and we'll send you a link that you can get more information about how you can have your own vertical growing system.
She's even growing anise here. She's like, this is like real licorice. I mean, right here you've got fennel happening. I mean, this is stuff I would get. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
That is so
phenomenal.
good.
Phenomenal.
Forget going to the grocery store for fennel. It's right there.
The arugula is off the hook too. But I digress. Today we're going to make something with the kale, right?
We are going to make something with the kale, and a good friend of mine is a personal trainer and hates kale. And so her Facebook post was, can anybody tell me anything good with kale in it? I know it's good for me, but I don't like it. So I'm taking that up as a challenge.
Cool.
I'm doing a little bit of a riff on a pasta dish I love to make for my kids that's a lemon pasta. So instead of a red sauce, it's a lemon flavored pasta. And so I'm going to basically substitute the kale for how I would normally use spinach. And because kale is it's got a bitterness and a rootiness about it, I'm going to treat the pasta even a little bit more like risotto, where it's a little bit richer, a little bit more robust. You know,
I'm excited about
some fun little tricks, but it's really easy. It's super easy. I mean, there's like 5 ingredients. It's not a hard thing to do at all.
One thing that's really important for our watchers to remember, and I know I harp on this all the time, we're meant to eat bitter greens, so that bitterness is actually something that stimulates our liver and all of our organs to work. And Derek, you know, I've been hounding you about this forever. So eating bitter greens is really good, and if you can disguise them, you know, like disguising cauliflower for Derek is really a good thing. So disguising the taste of this, and I'm really excited to see this lemon pasta dish.
Well, bitter, I mean, like, I love the taste of bitters. I really appreciate it, but again, it's how you pair it.
Especially
if it's by itself. Yeah, exactly. My old-fashioned can have a little bit of bitters. It's not an old-fashioned, it's whiskey. Bitter is a wonderful note in any food, but it has to be paired usually with fats. You know what I mean? Because that's going to counter it being too astringent. Because sometimes people will go with the bitter and like a lemon, which is going to actually enhance the bitterness and make it overpowering. So people go like, I had it in my salad, didn't like it. Like, yeah, you had oil and vinegar, and it just came out like too much, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be taking like a pasta approach somewhere along the lines like you would do. Like my kids love just plain old butter and olive oil in their pasta. Like that's like their most simple. So I'm going to treat it like the way you would saute almost a spinach and kind of a piccata sauce.
Great.
Because then the whole pasta is going to have this lovely lemony piccata, caper, kale, and it's going to be a good note that you like.
Awesome. I am so excited. I've already brought some kale inside for you, so let's go do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, I am just so excited to watch this. We've got you all set up here. Thanks for all your help with that. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you. What's nice is it's a really simple dish, so it's not something that's overly complicated. You know, like you literally can whip home, and in the same amount of time it takes you to boil the noodles and make the pasta, you're done.
Cool.
You know, it's not 173 different ingredient thing. So basically, we're making a lemon pasta. So instead of a tomato-based pasta, we're making lemon.
And what's awesome is that you're going to use gluten-free pasta, which
absolutely.
We actually always do on this show, but that's fantastic.
You know, and that's something that my kids, I try to do as little gluten as possible. We're not gluten-free, but at the same time, we try to limit that. So actually, my kids really love rice pasta.
Cool.
It's a favorite of theirs.
Well, good.
This recipe is actually a little bit of kind of a grown-up twist off of what I like to make for them.
Okay.
We're just going to spike it up a little bit, okay?
Good.
So one of the favorite things is butter pasta for my kids. They love that. But you've got this great Miyokos butter, which is vegan.
Yes, and it's fantastic. Non-vegans love it.
Absolutely. So I like to do kind of a 50-50 between butter and olive oil.
Okay.
I mean, olive oil has all those great nutritional elements as well anyway, but also if I do one or the other, I find the note is just too much one way. And again, that's my kid's favorite.
All right, awesome.
All right. So then kind of taking like a basic piccata sauce or beurre blanc, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be sauteing some garlic with some capers, with also some shallot that I have over there, and we're going to saute that down in some white wine and lemon juice.
Awesome. And all of this stuff, by the way, is really full of polyphenols, antioxidants. I mean, everything here is actually good for you, and that's what we really try to do on Cook with Jake and Joy. So thanks so much.
Garlic is not only the best flavor element in the world, but it's full of sulfur. I mean, it's like one of the things your body really needs.
Right.
So we're going to reduce down the white wine and the lemon juice with the garlic and the shallots. And then once that is a reduction, so it's nice and full of flavor, then we're going to add some more of our fat elements to turn it into a sauce. So instead of going down with the butter and the olive oil first and really making it that way, we're going to kind of simmer them really quick in the liquids that are going to reduce, impress your lemon flavor, your wine flavor, and then we're going to richen it up with some butter and olive oil.
This is all beyond me, man. This is all beyond me.
It's easy, though,
really
once
great.
you see it.
So I have this book called Salt, Fat, Acid. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she's got a great Netflix series.
So I don't know very much about it because I am not a chef. I am like a nutrition pusher. I'm like, how can I get you to eat more fruits and vegetables? I started this show because there are no vegan and gluten-free cooking shows. No. And it was kind of by accident. I like started doing this just like with my iPhone, and then I met Derek, and every time I would make something, I would F it up. Just like I poured tomato soup over my iPhone. I like couldn't get the food processor top on, and it was hilarious, and people loved it. Yeah. But I was also pushing this valuable information to people, like you can get more plants in your diet. Not everybody that watches our show is vegan or gluten free, but if they can make like one dish a week, even that's better for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, getting more plants in your diet is important, and also like how do we sneak it on our kids? Because like my kids don't want to eat straight broccoli.
But I love that you're bringing, like, I would like to be a chef like you.
But see, but I came from where you did. Was I used to be, I mean, 30 pounds ago, I was a professional athlete, and so I had one of those 5,000 calorie a day diets, but I was trying to eat training food. Yeah. You know, and you get tired of so many chicken breasts. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's Derek. Derek trains for triathlon.
Yep.
And like really seriously, he's a serious competitor.
I came from eating. I did not go to culinary school. I have worked restaurants, but more as the bartender waiter side. I was not working back in the kitchen, and that is something that I accumulated along the way. You know, and a great passion of mine was like just dinner parties and just cooking for friends and having a good time. Yeah. And you mentioned pouring the tomato sauce over the phone, but like mistakes are important. Yeah. It's important to mess up because then you learn. You don't. I mean, just
we made a few mistakes. We often make recipes that we've never made before on this show. On the show.
Oh, totally.
As we're filming.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so here's a quick little thing, and then we'll get on with cooking. Let's make some food.
Okay.
When I was blessed to get to be on Food Network, the first thing I thought of with one of the other competitors was I was a little bit more mature. There was a lot of kids, and I kind of looked around and said, you know what? If I can go and like what I'm doing, I'm going to trust that more than trying to impress a judge or beat anybody. I was like, if I just like what I'm doing, and I think that is also the most important thing when you're in your own kitchen is taste as you go. Stick your finger in it and just go, oh, it's not sweet enough, or it's not salty enough, or it's missing something.
And what's fun now, I added Jake to the show last season, and it's great to get her take on it, because Derek's always giving me his take on it. You know, he's always got it. Usually he's mic'd up.
Because I'm always hungry.
That's right. I've got job security with him because I always feed him. So, okay, let's get to it. What do I do first?
Last quick point on that.
Yeah.
The great Jacques Pepin has said he's gone to other people's house for dinner and said, oh my God, I love your dish. And they go, but that's your recipe.
Wow.
And he goes, but it tastes totally different.
Yeah.
And the reason why was because the produce was different that day. The sourcing was different that day. So recipes are a guideline, not a rule book.
Unless you're baking.
So, true. True. To a point.
All right, let's do this.
So,
what's the first thing?
Okay, first thing, this entire dish could be made in the same amount of time it takes us to make our noodles.
Okay.
So it's not an hour-and-a-half process. As long as you can boil noodles, you're good. We got the water going on the back, but I did a little trick. I put vegetable broth in with my water, 50-50.
Awesome.
The reason why, when we love risotto, is because the risotto has been cooked in broth.
Never thought to do it with pasta. I do it with potatoes. I do it with cauliflower, and this is awesome. I'm hooked. One
of the other reasons I want to do that is because of that bitterness of the kale.
Right.
I want to balance that with a richer, more rustic, fatty flavored, earthy flavor versus going totally acidic and astringent. Right? So this is going to make the pasta more rich.
All right. So should I add this?
So here's what we're going to do. Here's how you open the bag.
All right. That's so cool.
Look how easy that is,
awesome.
Right? All right. So here's our stock and water, noodles in. And get those down in the stock there.
So cool.
There we go. Chicken stock and water. Stir it so they don't stick together. You got to move them first. If you just walk away, they're going to be clumpy.
You were telling me that when you add the broth, you don't have to add the salt like people normally tell you to do when you do pasta because there's sodium in the
Correct. When you cook with just water, you add salt because that's like the flavors of the sea. You're adding that salt water.
Cool.
But when you use broth, it comes with the salt. So you're done. All right, cool. So basically everything is prepped here except for the two things. I'm going to do my shallot and I'm also going to prep the kale. Okay, so for me, the shallot, here we go, we got that. I'm just going to slide everybody over a bit so we got some room to work. For me, on the shallot, instead of doing a tight mince, for this recipe, I like doing little slivers. You know what I mean? Because they just cook really nice and then you get kind of a better bite. I'm just making little slivers.
Cool.
Just little slivers. Okay, and then I'm going to literally give a rough chop like this.
Okay.
Because I want to have these beautiful little fingers. Right. So now we got a little bit more of a tooth bite versus, just a little dice. Right. Which I think again with the kale is just going to be delicious that way.
I think you're going to like it.
Okay. Now to prep the kale. Kale.
Now this is curly kale. We also grow Licinto kale, which is the Tuscan Dino kale. You might see. We grow Red Russian. Do you like curly kale best?
I like both. The nice thing about curly kale is the root to the leaf size versus the bigger, broader blade. Right. I think this is a little more tender. Okay. Right. But I still want to remove
the stem.
Yeah. Which on the other one you can do pretty easy. But look, that's good. Cool. I don't have to take any more than that.
Do your kids like kale?
It depends. Again, if it's hidden.
Okay.
My son is really adventurous, and he'll try pretty much anything. And my daughter is much more just plain. Like she's the mac and cheese kid, and my son wants every sauce possible. Yeah. For my son's birthday, I said, "Do you want Daddy's pasta or do you want Daddy's burgers?" And he said both. So we made spaghetti burgers. Actually, and his friends loved it too. Like, this is the coolest thing. We put spaghetti on a burger. Okay, so I'm just cleaning off the lower leaves, stripping it, and pulling off that. Cool. Okay. Because otherwise it's just too rooty. It's just too much. Yeah. Now, kale, like cooking with spinach, is going to really reduce. So it seems like I'm prepping a lot, but believe me, once we cook it, it's not going to be.
Yeah, I like kale. Kale's got a little bit less water than lettuce does. That's why I like to make salads out of kale.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't like to make salads out of curly kale. And everybody makes salads out of curly kale. Yeah. It drives me crazy. I say this on almost every show. I hate curly kale salads.
Okay.
Jake likes it.
I know she does.
You tell me why.
Because normally they don't chiffonade it, they don't massage it, and it gets stuck in your teeth, and you know that you have greens sticking out of your teeth. You know that you do, and you can't like smile for the rest of the day until you get some floss, right? So that's why I don't like it.
Okay.
Okay, that's a lot of kale.
One more here.
You're kind of messy, Lee.
You know, go with me. Oh, it's like shrapnel.
All right.
There we go. Okay, so
what's next?
I'm just gonna chop that down a little bit so I'm not. You don't want to have that big of a bite, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna rough chop it because I would, again, with the other leaf kale, I would chiffonade. But here, I just gonna break it down because, like, again, you don't want one big humongous bite.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, think again, like spinach, it will reduce.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm probably not going to use quite all of this, but I'd rather have a little extra and just eyeball the pan.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But I would probably use it all because I always think of my dish as being a delivery system for vegetables.
I love it. Okay, well, we'll use it all.
Yeah.
I love it.
As long as there's no cauliflower in it.
No cauliflower.
No cauliflower. We are just some rough chopped kale. And that's it. I don't want to mince it down or it'll get too liquid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got it.
We are ready to hit the stove.
Awesome.
Let's cook this stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, here's the stove.
All right,
what do we do?
so we're going to start like you would basically for like a beurre blanc, which is basically to saute down the shallots and the garlic to make them soft and also to infuse wine and lemon with those flavors, but to make those also reduce down.
Okay.
So, really fast, just a little bit of olive oil on the bottom.
Okay.
Just so they don't stick, but this is not to, you know, go too nuts.
Okay.
And then our shallots.
Cool.
You want to get your shallots going before you add your garlic.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I do that with onion.
Yep, you got it.
The garlic. I don't know why that is, but that's what I do.
I should have broke these shallots up a little better, but I'm going to break them up right now.
But I have my housekeepers coming in a couple of days.
Exactly. All right. So, a little bit of salt to help get the shallots dried out.
Oh, interesting.
It helps them lose their water and makes them sweeter. So salt while you do this. Okay, so while those are just starting to get soft, okay, right now they're covered. I'm gonna take about half as much garlic as I had onion.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's plenty.
All right.
So we don't kill it, because I don't want it to be a garlic pasta, I want it to be a kale pasta, right?
Right.
So let's just get that moving. All I'm doing is really warming them up. While that's happening, okay, I have another pan here because we're going to make some pine nuts.
All right.
Okay, now pine nuts, watch them because they will go fast.
Now that's not a high burner. So that's
correct.
It's not very
medium
hot.
burner, salt on the pine nuts because the fat in the pine nuts, so just a little bit of salt on your burner. Okay, pine nuts will burn really fast if you're not watching. Okay, so these are just starting to turn translucent. That's all I want to do. I don't want to cook them, okay? But now I'm going to add my white wine. Oh darn, that smells good already. And my lemon juice.
Cool.
Okay, so the white wine and lemon are going to reduce in garlic and onion and salt. Got it?
Yep.
And that's going to form the base of the sauce. Let me just keep these moving.
Yeah,
See, they're starting to tan.
Yep.
A little bit more. Another minute. And those are
okay.
gonna be done.
All right. I'll keep track of them.
Okay.
All right.
Now that's starting to reduce.
So you put how much lemon juice? Half a cup?
Quarter cup of lemon juice. Quarter cup of white wine.
And it was one shallot and it was one whole garlic? No, it was half as much garlic.
It was about 3 cloves of garlic.
Okay.
Is about what I guess I'd be.
All right.
And then I'm going to try to put in about as much caper as I had garlic.
Okay.
Again, it depends. If you like capers, use more. But I think that looks about right. All right, that looks great.
Awesome.
So that's just got to come down and not be as watery. When that's not as watery, then we're going to add the other butter ingredients. When the liquid elements reduce down, so it's not so watery, then we will add our fat into. We'll add in the butter and the olive oil, to make it a sauce. Okay. Those are looking pretty good. Yeah. Those are almost there.
I'm doing good.
You're doing a fantastic job.
The hardest part of
Time to drain our pasta, and away we go. Now that beautiful broth has flavored our noodles. Look at those noodles. Beautiful. Oh, perfect al dente. Those are great.
I love that idea.
Taste the noodle.
I know. Yeah, they're perfect.
Taste it? Exactly. Isn't that delicious? Again, more like risotto.
These look great.
Those are done.
Cool.
So,
perfect.
Pine nuts are done. I'm going to use that as a topping so they don't get thick.
After you throw them around a little bit.
I'm just spilling in your kitchen.
That's right.
These we're going to save for more on the topping side. If we put in the sauce, they're going to get soggy. We like the crispiness, so let's just set those aside. The nice thing is pine nuts also last for days, and people can add it to them themselves.
Cool.
Okay, so now to our reduction here.
Yep.
You can see it's cloudy. And you can see a little bit of like, you know, fatty, glossy stuff going on. It's cloudy.
Okay.
It wasn't, it was clear before.
Okay.
That's all flavor. So now we're gonna add our butter. Again, like the way you would make a beurre blanc.
And this is not real butter.
It is not real butter.
It's not real butter.
This is vegan
it's
butter.
But it's awesome. Did you taste it?
I have tasted it.
It's really, isn't it good?
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to use real butter.
Exactly.
I love it.
You notice I just kind of split it into little chunks so that it wouldn't be going all in one big lump.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because now
God,
it's going to melt
so much.
It's going to melt faster. See, a fork is fine to emulsify this. You don't have to pull a whisk out. A fork is just fine because you're really just melting it. I'm not going to cook this. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, now I'm going to add some lemon zest to this.
Yep.
Because that's going to really pull out the lemon oil flavor.
Great.
I didn't want to put it in before because I didn't want to cook it. Basically, I'm sweating the lemon zest to get the oil flavor out, but I don't want to cook it. If you cook it, it gets burnt and it's acidic.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that the butter is melted, I'm going to emulsify in some olive oil.
Okay.
Okay, I like to stir while I do it. It just helps it break up better. And this is a sauce. Like, people look at this pan, they go like, gosh, that's a lot of oil and fat. No, it's not, because it's going to be spread out over all that pasta.
Right.
That's actually a very little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a tasting spoon?
Yeah, I do. I have a long tasting spoon. I like to use these long ones. Some people think of this as iced teaspoons, but I think they're tasting spoons.
I think they're perfect. Okay, now we had salted the onion. So now I'm really salting the sauce, the olive oil. You always salt in layers. You don't throw all the salt down at the beginning or at the end. You salt it as per layer.
A lot of people are confused about salt. Like, they think, oh, I don't want to put salt on my food. The salt that you put on your food is nothing compared to the sodium that is in processed food. So that's where you really want to get concerned, is when you look at, like we use low sodium broth to make this. So that's where the sodium lies. It's in hidden places, not in the little bit of salt that you put on your food. So just make sure you remember that.
This is what it should look like. You see how we're barely simmering? We're not boiling. But see the foam happening? That foam, now we're like, that's what you want. Because that means the butter and the olive oil are all incorporated and we're done. That's our sauce. That is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Although, you need to taste it. We got to taste that first.
I know. Okay. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. That is awesome.
What about me?
Yeah, he always gets a taste.
Ready? Come by the camera. All right, so that's the sauce.
Cool, but when does the kale go in?
Right now. We basically just want to wilt it. You know, we're not cooking it. We're here to wilt it.
So I'm actually going to bring that over?
Watch this. I'm going to turn the heat off.
Okay. You want me to bring it over?
Yeah, bring the kale over. Let's dump it in.
Here I go.
Lovely.
Ah, my housekeeper's going to kill me.
Perfect. Right in.
Everywhere.
Look at that. Look at that. Get all the extra. Okay. I'm just going to fold this in. The sauce is warm. Look, it's already shrinking. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is.
Remember, this is a family show.
Okay, see the color? It's getting more green. It's wilting.
Beautiful.
It's sucking up all those flavors.
I like that.
So now our kale is going to be slightly warmed, al dente, cooked, but it's holding all this flavor.
Cool. Okay. Yum, 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 yum.
Look at that. So that's just going to wait, and let's plate it family style.
Okay.
Okay, you can make individual plates, but let's do family style. Pasta.
Yum.
Family style.
Yum.
Let me spread that out a little bit. All right, family style. You can obviously individual plate this, but you know, I got kids, don't have time for that. I like to do a little bit of olive oil on here, just because there's so much in the kale and on the sauce. I just want to loosen up the noodles a little bit. There we go.
Note that he thinks that's a little bit.
Yeah, I do actually. Olive oil is great for you. Here's the other thing. This is raw olive oil. It has not been cooked. It is full of every nutrient possible. It is fantastic. If you boil, simmer, sear olive oil, you kill a lot of those enzymes off.
Yeah.
So you've got the functionality on the pan, but here, that's raw. That's great.
I agree.
All right, fire me up. Go for it.
Should I just put it
just spread it over the top like it was a pizza. Just cover the whole thing.
I'm nervous.
No, you're doing great.
It's heavy.
You can't even go wrong.
This pan is really heavy.
You need help? Here, give me this sucker.
Okay.
You got it?
All right, I want to make this look prettier.
You got it?
Okay.
We will. Here, let me see this spatula real
cool.
fast. Look at this. How healthy is this?
Yum, yum, yum.
Every ingredient is good for you. There is nothing
Very cool.
bad in this.
I'm glad you put all the kale in there. You needed all that kale.
We did. Isn't that amazing? You always think you have too much until you actually use it.
So we put the Parmesan on next, or the pine nuts?
Let's do the parm.
Because that'll make it melt.
Okay, so this is your special Parmesan too.
Well, it's vegan. It's made by Follow Your Heart. They're out of LA, and they're really cool guys. They have a restaurant. You know, I don't know if I would eat it like raw, and there are, you know.
No, I would. That's good.
Miyoko's doesn't make a Parmesan, but I like this. It looks like Parmesan. How much do you think I should put on? More? Oh, well, you know what we need is chili flakes you asked me for, and I didn't put them out, but I had them. I do.
Okay. All right. I think that's plenty. That's beautiful.
Okay.
All right, now look, our beautiful pine nuts.
Cool.
I don't even need all of them, but I'm just going to shake a little on here.
Okay. We've done segments on pine nuts, and do you know that pine nuts are actually seeds?
I do know that.
And
Isn't that cool?
Even though they're really high in fat and calories, they have an element in them that lets people lose weight. It has a satiety thing.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I'm going to go grab some chili flakes because you
Sure.
had asked me for those, and I forgot to put them on.
While you do that, I'm going to throw some little lemon wedges down on here just
Nice.
for a little bit of pretty, and also just like when we serve, it just looks nice. Boom, going around to the right. Just going pretty. Boinga. One more slice here. There we go.
How much of this do you want?
Shabam. All right, here we go. And a little bit of red chili flake if you like the heat, which I do.
I do.
I totally do. Let's do a little more on there. And shabam.
Yay! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I can't even stand it.
So there you go.
It looks awesome. I can't wait to eat it.
Piece of cake. Well, look, you know, we could, of course, put this in individual plates, but I say we just take a bite right out of that.
Yes, I say so too.
Okay, cool.
What a great episode of Cook with Jake and Joy. I mean, I feel like an amateur now,
Okay,
Lee.
after you.
It's just, it's.
Oh, stop.
You
could do this, right?
Well, I could.
How easy was that?
I don't know if I could do it with the flair that you do. You know, like I'm kind of like a health nag. That's kind of what I do.
Try the bite.
So good.
Good? Yummy?
So delicious.
Taste the kale?
It's really great.
Kale didn't get overpowered. It's still fresh.
You guys, this is Lee Abbott. Thanks so much for joining us, Lee. You just really made our show. You really made our season, actually, season 6. So special, so special.
My pleasure.
That's it for Cook with Jake and Joy. Please check out our episodes. Let us know if you make this recipe and did you like it? I mean, it's fabulous. If you don't like it, then you don't like our show. So
I have a perfect piece of kale in my teeth.
All right, you guys. We'll see you next time on Cook with Jake and Joy.
Thank you for having me.